Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Friday. We're going to check on little man. Most definitely getting bigger, uncomfortable. I know when people see me, they're like, "You're not really that big," but trust me, I'm big to me. And I am so uncomfortable, and anxiously awaiting for these next few weeks to fly by. But I hope Weston will be like his brother and stay put. Wyatt was just a few days late, and Waylon's surgery is actually scheduled on his due date, so I'm a little nervous about that. So he can just stay put. I don't want him to try to come early because I just don't want to have to experience all that. I go to a smaller practice, so they had to schedule me when they could, and unfortunately, it was the actual due date. They said they could get another doctor in to do the surgery, but I was like, no, don't want some random Joe down there cutting on me when I'm already used to the previous doctor before. So anyway, let's just pray that Weston, everything will be fine and he'll stay put until the actual day of surgery because I don't want to go into labor early. So anyway, today is the 9th, and today it says, it is common for people to try to minimize your pain. Oh, but you had so many years together. You're young. You'll have other children. You'll find someone else. It was only a pet. People do this because they have such a hard time with pain, yours and theirs. Know that your pain is acceptable. You don't need to minimize it or hide it. Today, do not minimize the vastness of your pain, no matter what anyone else says. And that is so true. Don't hide your pain. You know, I get up here with you guys and I share my heart to you every single day. I don't hide or mask my pain. This is my outlet. Even if through friends and family, I will talk to them if I'm having a really bad day. And I know some people just mask their pain. They won't talk about it with anyone. You don't need to do that. You don't need to have society make you feel like you can't express yourself. You know, we can go back to other meditations before where I have said this continuously. You're allowed to feel what you're allowed, to feel. You don't have to explain yourself. Um, Sadly, there was a guy that passed away last week to drugs. He was an addict. And I went back and looked at some of the things he was saying on his page, and he was reaching out to people, but were people really listening, or were they being judgmental? I don't know. It's not our place to judge. God is judge and jury, not us. And one of his posts that stuck out to me was he had a picture of Narcan where he was going to get that. That he was saying, it's so easy for people to judge an addict, but what's the difference in us and you that have to have that cup of coffee every morning, or you that has to have that Mountain Dew, or that cigarette, or that alcoholic beverage? He had a point. What's the difference? Because he's an addict? There is no difference. If you're addicted to cigarettes and alcohol and coffee and soda, you're just as bad as the addict on the street that's addicted to drugs. I used to not feel that way. I used to have a different outlook on that. But Wyatt's death has taught me, and it's showing me to be more of a compassionate person. Not saying I was cold-hearted, but the old me would have been judging that guy and would have had a different outlook on him. So if anything, through losing Wyatt, I am more compassionate, and I have shed so many tears in the last 10 months of losing him. And it's not just the thought or the fact of losing him. It's the fact of other children around me that have died from cancer, or, whatever the case may be. Someone's loved one's so sick. This guy was an addict and he died. It hurts. Where's our compassion as human beings? There's Waylon. It doesn't exist. And we need to find that and get back to that. I'm guilty of it, but like I said, through losing Wyatt, is showing me to be that person, to be more compassionate to those. Because he had a point with what he said. It's no different. And it's really not. And like I said, God is judge and jury, not us. That's like here where it states that you're young and you had so many years together. I'm assuming that has to deal with marriage. That's not what you tell someone that just lost a spouse. That's not what you tell them. Where it says you'll have other children. Lord, don't let nobody say that to me. Knock on wood, nobody has, but that doesn't mean they haven't thought it. Yes, Daryl and I decided to have another child, but what they fail to understand is I didn't want Waylon to be alone because I'm the only child. Unfortunately, my mom, when she was pregnant with me, was very, very sick, and she liked to die as well as myself. So her and my dad were scared to have other children. Do I fault them for that? Absolutely not. But I wanted Waylon to have a sibling. Daryl has an identical twin brother, and he had a sister. Unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago from pancreatic cancer. But I still wanted Waylon to have that child. Yes, I can have other children, but don't dare say that to me. Because Weston's not going to replace Wyatt. It doesn't matter if I have millions of children. It's not going to fill that void because Wyatt is still gone. It was only a pet, and I'm guilty of this as well because it was only a pet. But I have to remember too that before children, that I thought all I was going to have was my fur babies because Daryl didn't want them. So when you say that to someone, just take a step back and think that might be the only children they'll ever have because they couldn't have them. They couldn't afford to adopt a kid. There's just so many things that we don't know. So my point is just be mindful of what you say. And to those of us that are grieving, be easy on yourself. Allow yourself to feel your pain and express it. Okay? Love you guys. Got to get ready. Go check on the boy. Hope y'all have a wonderful Friday. And always remember, let your faith be bigger than your fears. Bye, guys.